Oh my. Wait. We're sending it. Full send. Hello! Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keeliana, but you can call me Keely. I have been missing for a little while. Yeah, I've been gone for a little while, but actually I have some really exciting news. It's official. I'm going to law school in fall. And I'm sure I'll have like a better update video. I think I want to make videos to talk about law school and that whole process, because I know for me I didn't have anybody in my family to help me do the process because nobody had done it before. Thankfully I have coworkers that I could rely on, but I know for a lot of people that's not the case. But that all aside, today is a different video. I'm doing a couple things this weekend for the first time. Tonight I'm going to be getting eyelash extensions for the first time. And then tomorrow I'm going to see one of my sorority sisters in Culver City to get ombre powder brows done. And that one I'm a little bit more scared of because I have a very low pain tolerance. Anybody will tell you. I'm going to let you guys know how both of those things go today and tomorrow. I thought it might be nice to show you guys what I'm working with as far as like eyelashes go. But as you can see, I don't really have a whole lot going on in the eyelash area. Maybe I used to, but definitely not anymore. We'll do a comparison after the procedure is done. I'm told it's pretty relaxing, so hopefully that's the case. Right now, I wasn't wearing any makeup earlier, but I did kind of go through the day and I think my skin got a little oily. They say to make sure that your face is clear of everything, like moisturizers, lotions, sunscreens, etc. and makeup. Not that I was wearing makeup in the first place, but just in case there's, you know, stuff around my eyes. The reason they say to do this is because it can interfere with the glue that adheres to the lashes. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish up this and then I'm actually pretty much just gonna leave because it's almost time for my appointment. I will check in with you guys probably after I'm done just to see the finished result and see how I feel about the process. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. So day one of the eyelashes was pretty nice, pretty normal, nothing too crazy. The only thing is you can't get them wet and you can't do any sort of like cooking over hot water or anything like involving hot steam. As far as my experience goes, I actually ended up falling asleep in the eyelash studio like while they were doing it. I felt so bad. And you know how when you like jolt awake, you move like really suddenly? So I would like jolt awake and then I'd just say, sorry, I'm sorry to the eyelash technician. I was like, I am so sorry if I scared you. I will say it's a little bit weird as far as like the setup for the procedure goes. They put like tape all over your eyes. Like you feel like your whole face is getting taped up basically. They tape down your bottom lashes too, so they don't get in the way of like the rest of the procedure. So I went to Amazing Lash Studio and they seem to be all over California and I'm not sure about all over the country. But anyway, my experience there was really nice. There was really nice music playing while I was laying on this table. And the whole procedure I think only lasted about, I want to say an hour to an hour and a half, but it felt like I was asleep a long time. A contributing factor I think was that the technician, her touch was really soothing actually. I mean, all they're doing is messing with your eyelashes, like they spread them out. They spread them out to isolate one eyelash and then they take the clump of eyelash extensions and they just glue it on there and they wait for it to dry and then they like shuffle through the rest of the eyelashes looking for empty ones. It's kind of like they're brushing your eyelashes back and forth the whole time. I don't know why I was scared really, but I guess it's a little intimidating for if you're doing it for the first time. I'm excited to get it done again. If you're out there thinking about whether or not to do eyelash extensions because of a fear, I would try to conquer the fear and just try it once and just be vocal with your technician as to whether you're uncomfortable or not, and they'll adjust as necessary. And as far as like long-term care for the eyelashes, it's pretty easy. Amazing Lash Studio gave me a kit that has like a lash cleaner. It's like a foaming cleanser, and you basically just take that with like cool water and zhuzh your eyelashes a little bit to clean them off. And you do this in the morning and the evening to make sure that no dirt or residual makeup is hanging around on them, because you can get something that is called lash mites, which I didn't look up because my boyfriend told me not to, because it's probably disgusting. You probably don't even want to know what they look like, but it's just gross. So wash your lashes. The foaming cleanser actually smells a little bit like the generic hospital soap. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I think if you got it, you would understand. Like if you smelled it, that's immediately what I thought of. Not necessarily in a bad way, it just feels like a really sterilizing soap. Like, it doesn't hurt. You close your eyes while you're doing it. And once you do that, you're supposed to take this little red brush that Amazing Lash Studio gave me. It's basically just a clean spoolie, and you brush through your lashes to make sure you put them back where you want them, because after you wash them and get them wet, and this goes for if you cry, if you take a shower or a bath or go swimming or anything with lashes on, you need to brush them after, otherwise they're gonna start looking like a crazy mess, because you need to reset them into the spot that you want them to. And then after you brush through them, you're supposed to put this little serum that they gave me. It's supposed to strengthen and keep your lashes healthy. So I just kind of dot that on after I'm done with brushing them. What's up, guys? It is Saturday morning. I am running late to my next appointment today for eyebrows with my sorority sister Linnell. Thankfully she's really sweet, and she understands that I'm just late because of who I am as a person. I will update you guys on the eyebrow situation right after I am done. I'll make sure to take a clip so you can see them when they're fresh, and we'll also show you guys like the healing process, and it takes a couple days to weeks. That's gonna be fun. Love that for us. I have no idea how this is going to go, but yeah, wish me luck. Bye. Hello. Okay, so I just got done, literally just fresh out of this eyebrow appointment. I have a really low pain tolerance, and for the most part it was fine, but right towards the end I was like it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I expected, I guess. Okay, let's talk. So right now the brows are thicker than they're going to be normally. They're gonna shrink a little bit as it heals. They're really dark right now too. They're going to fade. I think they said 20 to 30% in color. I do look like a little intense right now. So overall it was a really good experience. There were times where like I was in pain, but I was like, no, you gotta hold it in. You gotta hold it in, girl. You gotta be strong for this beauty. And she was like, it hurts, doesn't it? I was like, yeah. And she just puts on the numbing cream again. So once the numbing cream kicks in, it's totally fine again. Every stroke feels kind of like you're getting pinched. The best way I could describe it is it kind of just feels like you're getting scratched by the end of like a paper clip or like a push pin or something going across like this. There's like areas of my brow that it hurt more than others. So like pretty much from this point on, like down, it hurt more than like the front part. And also every time they like wipe the pigment from your eyebrow is so sore. So right now it is 1:54 and we got started maybe around 11:30, 11:40, so not too long actually. It seemed to go by pretty fast. I will say right now, post procedure, my brows feel tender, but like as if you had a bruise on your eyebrows. So when they wipe over it, like when they hit that spot that's like really sore, it hurts. I'm feeling fine. I can move my eyebrows. I don't really want to because it kind of feels weird. We're gonna go back home and then we'll talk more about both things
later. Bye.
So as far as caring for the eyebrows go, my eyebrow technician gave me this little tiny tube of green gel, I would call it, but I'll list the ingredients on the side when I look at the bottle next. It's a really soothing gel, especially after the procedure. Your eyebrows are really tender, and so putting the gel on is really nice and soothing to the eyebrows. And then after that, you can use Vaseline. Because it's a really small bottle, it runs out really fast, which it's supposed to be gone after the first day. I just swapped to Vaseline. It kind of yields the same really cooling and soothing feeling. You can also use Aquaphor. The Vaseline or the gel also helps protect from any moisture, since you're not supposed to get your brows wet for at least 2 weeks after the procedure. You can apply it before showering to keep any water away from it. I also kind of secretly used it to stop myself from touching my eyebrows, because when you put the Vaseline on, it kind of creates a barrier. It's like a, hey, remember that you have stuff on your eyebrows you're not supposed to touch. The one thing I will say about putting the gel and the Vaseline on, for at least like 3 or 4 days after, it kind of like melts your eyebrow. Like not in a painful way. You'll see in the pictures. So I kept a tissue next to me and I would just wipe it off. Day 1, the day of the procedure, my eyebrows really hurt afterwards. They were really tender, and it only got worse as the day went on. Like right after, it wasn't so bad, but after a couple of hours, it really started hurting. I also got a really big headache, and that's also why I took ibuprofen to kind of kill the pain. As far as the coloring of the eyebrows go, on this day, it was really dark, and they were super wide, like this way. And then towards the evening hours, it really started getting swollen, like one eye only. I think it was this eye. It just became bulbous. Like I couldn't open my eye all the way, whereas this one was fine. So I don't really know what that was about, but it went away after a couple of days, so it's fine. Day 2, still a lot of swelling, also very dark still. And here's kind of where you can see when I put Vaseline or the gel on the eyebrow, it kind of melts the pigment off. Those little dots are like melted pigment. They like dripped down my eyelid with the gel. I think it's because my face was really warm, so it kind of heated up the Vaseline or the gel, and it just kind of fell off. So I don't know. Day 3, the swelling was going down by this time. It's still really dark, but I could notice that the height of the brows was a lot less, and I started to get scabbing on my eyebrow, which sounds really gross because it is really gross. Like when you put the Vaseline on, you can kind of feel the texture of your eyebrows through the Q-tip. So you can kind of tell when you're scabbing over, and you can see it too because there's darker portions of your eyebrow. So day 4, this was where the scabs were pretty much on the most intense side. It was just all scabs. The eyebrow appears less dark and intense during this time for me. And it started to itch a little. Like a lot of people report itching earlier on than this, but this is right around the time where the itching started to come about for me. And then one part of my eyebrow fell off, like the scabbing fell off on the corner. I think it was like the left eye, and you can see it in this. On day 5, it was super itchy on this day. Lots of scabs just like hanging off my eyebrow in random places, and they would just fall off throughout the day. It was really patchy at this point. You could definitely tell where there were scabs still hanging on versus scabs that were falling off because the color was different. So, and the density of the brow was different too. And that's what I mean by patchy. On day 6, still just super itchy. There's really not much to report on this day, I felt like. Day 7, still super itchy. Really patchy by this point, and also the color looks almost faded. The scabs that were remaining seemed mostly concentrated towards the center and the front parts of my brow. I'm not really sure why. Possibly the way I sleep. You're supposed to sleep on your back, but it's really hard for me to do that, so I kind of suspect that the parts of my brow that were missing were because of the way I sleep. So side sleepers beware. So on day 8, I was still putting a lot of Vaseline on my eyebrow. There was a lot less itchiness on this day though, so I could tell that they were healing. On day 9, I had a lot of itching again, actually, so the itching came back. So I put more Vaseline on it today. I was trying to avoid the Vaseline because it makes your face, my face is already oily, so when you put like oily stuff on my face, it's like not a good look and it's not a good feel either, especially considering you can't really wash your face. So I was trying to avoid it a little bit, but I ended up putting it back on. They were really light in color on this day. It's almost like the pigment was like a wrong shade. That's how it looked. Just because of how it heals, it becomes a lot lighter than what you started out with. So it's kind of a stark contrast. Honestly, it was starting to get kind of crusty and dry here. And I also noticed my baby eyebrow hairs were starting to come back. I'll have to pluck them later when the area is done healing because you don't want to put too much stress on the area when it's still like really tender. I did decide to put on makeup on this day, but I avoided the eyebrow area. On day 10, it was a bit dry again, but again, I'm avoiding water and lotions for the full 2 weeks, besides the Vaseline, just to promote the healing and make sure that the pigment has enough time to really absorb into the skin. So I figured I'd kind of see what happens, but I did put on a little bit of makeup on this day as well. On day 11, pretty much fully healed at this point. The pigment looks really good overall. It darkened up just a little bit towards the middle and the edge. I feel like it looks really nice. Day 12, there were no problems other than a little dryness around the area, which I said that I would fix once the 2-week period was over. Day 13, again, no problems, dry as before. I'm gonna have to do some masks after this. On day 14, there were no real problems. They feel normal by now, and I just decided to give my face a break and not do makeup today. On day 15, so even past the 2 weeks, my skin looks really oily in this clip, but it's mostly because I just cleansed it with an ironically oil-free cleansing wipe. So it's not oily in this clip, it's just moist. Yeah, I said it. Moist. Overall, would I do these 2 procedures again? I think, especially for the eyelashes, yes. I had a really positive experience with it. I love the lashes. The saddest thing in the world is seeing the little extensions fall off. They fall off with your natural lash. You lose, I think it's like eyelashes per day already. I don't really regret the eyelashes. The only thing is I couldn't wash my face adequately for like 2 weeks basically because I got my eyebrows done the very next day. So I guess it made it a little bit harder to wash my lashes than it would be normally. I think that's one thing to consider, is maybe like spacing out the 2 of these procedures. Especially do not do your eyebrows first and then expect to go get your eyelashes done within 2 weeks. You're gonna need the full 2 weeks to heal your eyebrows up because your eyelash technician will be right on top of your eyebrows the whole time basically, because they're, you know, they're like up here and their hands are working down here. So you don't want anything to be touching your eyebrows during that healing period. It feels terrible. So that's just a word of caution for you. I don't regret the lashes at all, even though I was at home for most of the time for the past 2 weeks because of coronavirus. We're under a mandatory quarantine. I do find myself doing more makeup even though I'm not going anywhere, just because it feels nice. As far as the eyebrows, it's a tattoo technically, so I don't have to worry about getting it done for a while. So I think in terms of the pain and payoff for the amount of time that you get to keep it, I would say I would do it again because the pain was maybe like hardcore pain, maybe only like 2 to 3 minutes of the procedure, and then like long-term like discomfort was only, I'd say, about a week and a half after. But you get to keep these eyebrows for, you know, a full 1.5 to 2 years, I think it is. So I think overall it's worth it. You just make sure you're not going anywhere in the 2 weeks after the procedure. Because you look a little wild for like the first week. Make sure you research your esthetician and make sure they're really nice and are able to provide you comfort during the procedure. I'm really lucky because my sorority sister was my esthetician, so I felt like I was in good hands. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button for more. Stay fly, fairy flock, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Yeah.